4-game series against the Cubs at home for the first time since July of 1965. Top of the 6th, tied at 1. Aramis Ramirez hits it in the left field, and well, Manny Ramirez is chasing it and chasing it and chasing it, and ball rolls away from him. And Aramis Ramirez goes in for a triple. He would go on to score. Cubs lead 2-1, a stand-up triple. Top of the 8th, Cubs up 3-1, one out. Jake Fox had his first career 4-hit game. Singles in the left. Manny able to scoop it up as Aramis Ramirez heads towards third. Manny throws, this time gets Ramirez at third. The good throw there, safe at second. Bottom of the 8th now, runners in the corners. Orlando Hudson is pinch hitting with one out. Pops it to shallow center. I got it, I got it, I got it. Oh, wait, that's later in the show. Nobody has this one. Oh, that's embarrassing for the Cubs, or is it? Third base umpire Wally Bell had called timeout. So it's, I got my time. So it's a do-over, really. And later in the at-bat, Hudson merely grounds to third. Ramirez starting the 5-4-3 double play. Cubs out of the jam, and they avoid the sweep. They win. They wrapped up their series in Colorado. Tim Lincecum took a no-hitter into the 6th. So what else is new? Todd Helton can try and do something about that. Little sinking liner. Edgar Renteria can't get there. Goes in the center. First hit allowed by Lincecum. Lincecum facing Ian Stewart. 2 on, 2 out. And Stewart with a base hit into right. Helton rounding third, trying to score, and the throw is cut off by Ryan Garker, who then fires to the plate, not in time. Helton safe. So no-hitter and no shutout. Breaking it down, right? You see Rich Dower, the third base coach? There's your stop sign that Helton totally blows off. Then Nate Sherrold's throw home is going to be cut off by Garco, right? I mean, look how far away Helton is from home when the throw is cut off. You have to think if Garco lets that go through, would have gotten Helton at the plate. Instead, Helton safe. Rockies only down by 1. And again, these are very important games. Lincecum at 111 pitches, few more than his average pitches per start. Jeremy Affeldt ready to go. Bruce Bochy, Dave Righetti, they decide to leave Lincecum in there to face Seth Smith. Bad idea on their part and mine. Smith's 11th of the year. Rockies a 3-2 lead. Lincecum 7 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned, 121 pitches. He walked 5, most for him since last September. Ubaldo Jimenez facing Pablo Sandoval. Grounds to first. Eugenio Velez holding at third. So there are 2 down. The next batter is Benji Molina. And Molina lines out to deep left. Get another look at Molina, because he thought he had a chance to do some real damage here. Jimenez is 5-0, 1.63 in his 5 August starts. Can't do better than that.
Marlins and Braves both have wild card on their minds. Derek Lowe last time out gave up 8 earned in 3 2/3 against the Mets. Off to a good start against the Marlins. Thank you. Braves then got 3 in the bottom of the first, so they're off to a good start. Marlins down 3-2, top of 4, 2 on. Oh, Kelly Johnson's 9th error of the year. He drops the throw from Escobar. Bases loaded. Next batter, catcher Ronnie Paulino, and everybody will score. Paulino will get tagged out going to third, but damage done. Derek Lowe getting $15 million per for the next 4 years, including this year. 5 innings, 3 earned, 9 hits. Matt Diaz having a nice year for Atlanta. 4 for 4, hitting .310. Hammers the Kiko Calero pitch to right center with the Braves down. Check this out. Look at this little slow pitch softball move. Maybe expecting that ball in. Takes a step back, then drives it to right center. 4 for 4, homer shy of the cycle. Still 5-5 game. Brian McCann. So much responsibility. He handles the pitching staff, and he bats cleanup for the Braves. Gets a big hit there. 3 for 4, home run, 5 RBIs. And the Braves are winners 7-5. So
Mets and Phils in the not-so-heralded return of former Met Pedro Martinez to the stadium he never pitched in. Got some early offensive support. Jason Worth, a 3-run shot off Oliver Perez. Worth is 29th homer of the season, so the Mets not getting off to exactly a fast start. Carlos Ruiz, you see, doesn't have a hit against the Mets this season. 0 for 23. He has a hit now, and it went pretty far. 3-run shot off Perez, 8th homer of the year. The Phillies have a 6-0 lead in the first. Now, Oliver Perez throws a ball to Pedro Martinez to make the count 3-0, and Jerry Manuel has seen enough. 2/3 of an inning. He's gone. Angel Pagan, with the Mets down 6-0, hits one to the gap in left center. Here's something you don't see every day. The ball stuck under the fence, or is it? Shane Victorino does the old throw his hands up and, waiting for the umpires to stop everything. but nobody stops anything, and Pagan keeps running. That's an inside the park home run. So it's 6-1. Watch it again. Does the ball really get stuck?
Pick it up.
That's not exactly the ivy at Wrigley Field or anything.
Get it out of there.
Victorino is looking for help from the umpires, doesn't get any from Big Blue, and good job by Pagan. You keep moving until the whistle blows, or in this case, till the umpires stop play. Here's Pagan in the bottom of the third. This one not so questionable or controversial. That's just gone. Pagan is the first player to hit an inside the park and outside the park home run since Hanley Ramirez in 2006. Back to Pedro. Dealing in the fourth gets Patrick Mish. Fourth strikeout of the game for Martinez. Next batter. Here's Pagan. What would happen this time? Nearly a strikeout. Pedro, 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, 4 earned. To the ninth. 9-6 game, 1 on. Luis Castillo grounded a second. Eric Bruntlett blows it.
Oh, he's terrible.
That's E4.
Get him out of the game.
Trade him right now. Send him down to Double-A someplace.
Ready?
Pagan scores on the play. Next batter's Daniel Murphy. You know Bruntlett doesn't want the ball hit to him. Boots that. They actually call that infield single. So Jeff Francoeur is the next batter. Bruntlett's got to be thinking, please don't hit the ball to me. Unless he decides to accomplish the rare unassisted triple play, of course.
Of course.
Are you kidding me? Bruntlett in the right place at the right time after the previous 2 plays. You can't make this stuff up. Catches the liner, hits the bag, hits the runner. Francoeur says, I hit the ball hard. What happened there? After the 2 miscues by Bruntlett, the unassisted triple play to end the game. And the end of any chance of having a real race for the AL East. The marquee matchup, both looking for their 15th win. Last meeting, Game 5, the 07 ALCS, Beckett won. Here's Beckett's first pitch of the game. Get out of town. Derek Jeter, it's gone. His 16th homer of the year. So the Yanks the 1-0 lead. Top of the second. First pitch of the top of the second. Come on. Hideki Matsui, his 22nd of the year. Almost to the same spot as Jeter at his. Yanks a 2-0 lead. Sox down 2-zip, bottom of the second. Man on. Rocco Baldelli chops one up the middle. Mike Lowell coming around to score. Sox cut it to 2-1. The next batter's Jason Varitek. And Varitek shoots one down the first baseline. It's going to roll to the wall. Baldelli trying for home, and the throw off the mark. So the Sox tied at 2. To the top of the third we go. With 2 on, Mark Teixeira ropes one into right. That's going to score Jeter easily, and the Yanks a 3-2 lead. What an offensive season for Derek Jeter, oh, by the way. Top of the fourth, Yankees with a 4-2 lead for Robinson Cano. And to say Beckett just didn't have it in this game would be understating the obvious. Cano takes Beckett out. So 3 Yankee home runs. Bottom of the fourth, 2 outs, Jason Varitek pops it up shallow right. Robinson Cano calls off Teixeira and then runs by it and can't make the play. For Cano, his 2nd error of the game, Jason Bay scores 5-3. Top of the 5th. With all these home runs going out for the Yankees, you figure it wasn't long before Alex Rodriguez put a little swing on that one and jetted out over the monster, 22nd of the year. Yankees all over Beckett, his 2nd consecutive subpar start. Matsui in the 8th, his 6th career multi-home run game. Speaking of multi-homers, for Beckett, first time he allows 5 home runs in a game. 3rd Red Sox pitcher to allow 5 or more jacks in a game.
Standings, Rays going for the sweep where?
Tampa.
You got it. Michael Young. He's having one of the best seasons of his real good Major League Baseball career, hitting .329 this year. He's a .303 lifetime hitter. Extends his hit streak to 11 games. Rangers up 2-0 as he drives in Rodriguez and Kinsler. Speaking of Pudge. Now 4 for 6 in his return to the Rangers after Sunday's game. There's a lucky hop over Longoria, and the Rangers lead 3-0. Watch it again. Thought he had it over the mitt. So the Rangers have a lead, and saved by the Feld. To me, he's Feldy. Scott Feldman, look at him on the road this year. 8-1 this season. Carlos Pena, Gabe Kapler, Ben Zobrist as the Rays strand a man on third. Bottom 7, 2-man on. Willie Ibar back to Feldy. Tips it off his glove, picks it up, throws it, and he got him. How about 11 strikeouts? And that's a career best, and no earned run. He's 9-1. Central Hunt trying to catch the Tigers, but got a win-loss, win-loss, win-loss lately. See if they can take advantage of that Tiger loss. Mark Burley, terrible since his perfect game. Top of the first, Brian Roberts had a leadoff double, then Adam Jones knocks him in. Jones then left mild back strain. Top of third, 2-1 Orioles. Nolan Weimel, 12th homer of the year. Burley allows 11 hits and 5 earned runs in 5 2/3. Bottom 9, 5-4 game. Mark Kotsay pinch hitting. Tying run on second. 2 outs. Jim Johnson gets the out. Saves it for Jason Birkin. Burley 0-4 in 6 starts since his perfect game.
It's all over with. What a pitching matchup. Start off with Jason Marquis, 14 wins. Barry Zito, 11 losses, but look at the ERA. 2.36 since the All-Star break. Lowest on the team. Remember, they got Kane and Lincecum. Bottom 1, Giants up 1, so they're giving Zito something, and then he gives Todd Helton something, a walk, but Helton would be stranded. Bottom 4, it's this combination of Zito, Helton again. It's a walk again, and Helton stranded again. How about bottom 5? This time the bases are loaded, so if you walk them, it's going to cost you, and the third time is not a charm for Barry Zito. Yorvit Torrealba walks in as the tying run. Zito gonna obviously unhappy. 6 innings, 3 hits. That run was unearned, so nothing earned for Barry Zito. Now let's go to Jason Marquis. 14 wins on the season. I mean, he's one of the top pitchers in the National League. Runners on the corners, and he gets Fred Lewis, and Jason's a bit fired up. Let's go 8th inning. Marquis 2 on again, and he gets Nate Scherholz to ground out to Helton. Todd will handle that, and game tied at 1, and Helton, Marquis done. 8 innings, 6 hit, an earned run, and 5 Ks. We're in the 10th now. Brian Wilson against Troy Tulowitzki, runner at second. He lines it to right, and Carlos Gonzalez stops at third, and Tulowitzki wishes he had stopped at first, because he's in the old pickle-lickle-lickle.
Oh, the pickle-lickle-lickle.
And the batting cap, batting helmet, not a thinking cap. And Tulowitzki is in no man's land, and Gonzalez stayed at third, and well, Tulowitzki's going to have to live with that one, and he knows it. Brad Hopp was intentionally walked, and Ryan Spilborghs, and he grounds into the double play to end the inning, so they leave the man on third. Colorado blowing a good opportunity. Now, Giants, we're running out of guys. Tim Lincecum, because that hair will give him a draft that a NASCAR driver would be jealous of. Pinch running for Benji Molina. Brian Wilson up. You can tell he got a pitcher bat, and he bunts into the double play in the game. In the inning. He had a lot of game to play. Bottom 11, Dexter Fowler, and Wilson strikes him out. So that was with runners on the corners. A lot of men left on base. 13th inning, Brandon Metters, bases loaded. Ian Stewart, I brought my adult club. Giants that time blowing it. Tie game continues. Top 14, Adam Eaton against Edgar Renteria, and Spilborghs needs either longer arms or faster feet. He's not getting it. Renteria in with a triple, so you got the go-ahead run at third with 1 out. Travis Ishikawa walked. Eugenio Velez, he says, I shop at the gap. Renteria got a triple. Velez gets a triple. 2-run score, and the Giants take a 3-1 lead. They went up 4-1, and they go to the bottom of the 14th with a 4-1 lead. Now, 2 pitchers left in the bullpen. One's Justin Miller, and so they say, well, let's put him in there. And he walks the pitcher, Adam Eaton.
No way.
The bases loaded. It's 4-2. So now they're gonna put in Merkin Valdez to face Spilborghs. Second pitch. See, that's why sports is great right there. The smiles, the celebration. And we told you at the top, something Colorado had never done. First walk-off grand slam in Rockies history.
No way.
Yeah, way. 4 hours and 57 minutes. I told you you'd say no way. 3 minutes short of 5 hours. The Rockies take the series 3-1. They take a 4-game lead over the Giants in the wild card. Spilborghs is your hero. The walk-off grand slam. He makes history and makes the Giants sad in the process.
14 against teams with winning records since the All-Star break. Jose Contreras 3-5 with an 8.82 ERA against Boston. Bottom third, 2 outs, bases loaded. Contreras facing David Ortiz, and well, this is not the finest moment of Contreras' career. He didn't really get anything accomplished there. Ortiz reaches first, and Alex Gonzalez scores. Red Sox down 4-2. Next batter is Jason Bay, and Contreras continues to be his own worst enemy. Walks him. Victor Martinez scores. It's 4-3. Next batter is Mike Lowell. And how about a wild pitch to make Contreras' night even worse? Kevin Euclid scores from third, and the game tied at 4, and Boston doesn't have to do anything. Contreras helping them out. Later in the at-bat, they would help themselves. Lowell, this off Contreras, 3-run shot, his 16th. Contreras 2 2/3. He gave up 7 runs, only 1 of them earned. Red Sox up 7-4. Paul Konerko striking back, though. 3-run shot for him, his 23rd. White Sox cut it to 9-7. Same score, bases loaded, top 7. Daniel Bard facing Carlos Quentin, but J.D. Drew's got that one under cover. Red Sox out of a jam. They go on to win at 12-8. Boston scored at least 11 runs in 3.
Needs to win at Toronto to remain 3 back, but they got to take on Roy Halladay. Ben Zobrist, who's not very good in August, ever, this month included. He's good there. The flare, Carl Crawford scores. Rays up 1. Rays up 3 now. Bases loaded, bottom 2. Rod Barajas, bartender. Jack off Jeff Neiman. He's been good. Barajas better there. Blue Jays up 4-3, his 12th. Top 5, 1 on, tied now. Carlos Pena, let's untie it. He's your American League leader with 35 home runs. He also has 35 singles. Rays 8-6. Halladay's 8th run allowed. Look, Halladay 8 runs. Let's go legal flashback. It was June of 07. It was Tampa Bay and in Toronto. And this is the last time Halladay allowed 8 runs in a start. B.J. Upton and Crawford hit home runs in the 4th. He was knocked out in the 4th. The Jays would win the game 12-11. It's the only team he's lost to more than once. The Tampa Bay team. 12 hits, ties a career high for Halladay, giving up 7 earned. He's 1-3 against the Rays this season. That was Sean Camp, who former Blue Jay Greg Zahn singled off of and scored 2. The Rays win it 12-7. They've won 7 of their last 9.
Orioles and Twins, Joe Mauer and company, the series opener against the Orioles. Let's take a look at some great defense, Neil.
Let's.
Mauer leading off against Chris Tillman. Cesar Torres with the defense there. Top 5, Michael Aubrey batting with 2 out in foul territory. Denard Span works foul territory. Makes that grab and then into the bullpen, hang out with his teammates. Look, they had a seat waiting for him right there. That helped Scott Baker give up just 1 run and 4 hits in 7 innings. Top 6, more great defense. Felix P.A. leading off. Alexi Casilla down and dirty and in time. Top 9, 2-1 Twins. Matt Wieters facing Joe Nathan. 2 on, 2 out, full count. And Wieters will get Nathan and like it. 32nd save of the season for Nathan. Twins win 2-1. Their 4-game win streak matches their longest of the season.
Let's go Great Northwest. Mariners trying to remain relevant, hosting Oakland. Hey, revive 95, all right? Well, let's do it. Legal flashback. August 95, Yankees Mariners tied, bottom 9. Good night, John Boy. Ken Griffey Jr. off John Wetland, his first career walk-off home run. It came against our own Buck Showalter. Not happy. 182 career home run. Let's snap back to reality. Uh-oh, there goes gravity. Vin Mazzaro, 14th of the season, 625 career as Griffey decides to fish Kodiak, and the Mariners win it.
The Angels, Jared Weaver going for L.A. Top 5, Tigers up 1-0, 1 on and 1 gone. Compliments of Miguel Cabrera. His 26, Tigers up 3-0. Weaver 5 1/3, gave up 5 earned runs. Top 6, Cabrera back for more. This time with the bases loaded, and he's causing more trouble. Curtis Granderson and Placido Polanco come home. 5 RBI in the game for Cabrera. Tigers with a 7-0 lead. Didn't last, though. Verlander sitting on a 7-run lead. Tigers up 10-3 at this point. Eric Ibar. That'll bring Maestros Torres home. Angels cut the lead 10-4. Now, Jim Leland comes out, take Verlander out, and in between innings, catcher Gerald Laird and Verlander have some words in the dugout, and they have to be separated. Verlander, 5 2/3, struck out 7, gave up the 4 earned runs. Bottom 8, Angels trailing 10-4. Bobby Abreu about to change that with 1 swing of the bat. 3-run shot for Abreu, no doubt about that. When Angels cut into that lead, it's 10-7. Abreu with his 12th of the season. Later in the inning, runners on 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. Fernando Rodney now in. He's got that look in his eye. Juan Rivera at the plate. And that's not going to hurt a bit. Tigers get out of the inning, and the Tigers going to win at 10-7, so more pressure on the White Sox to try to keep pace with them in the AL Central. Top place. Who's the mystery man, Neil? Who's the mystery man?
It's got to be Shaq. He's on television every time I look.
No, it's LeBron, actually, in China. And check out the moves. It's a Chinese high school kid trying to guard him. LeBron's China visits the fourth stop of his 10-city global tour to promote basketball and community charity.
All right, 09 Red Bull X-Fighters World Championships in London. Nate Adams got a lot more guts than me. That one for Rexing. He wins the world title. Nate Adams does. Spray him with that Red Bull.
That knee maneuver he did there was critical. Number 8, Indians and Royals. Luis Valbuena with the fly ball. Mitch Meyer says, give me that.
Let's check out Little League World Series. You got Staten Island, New York against Urbandale, Iowa. And Brody Egger, you're on Sports Center.
He's no ham and egger.
He's steak and eggs.
Number 6, Orioles and Twins. Felix P.A. with a ground ball. Alexi Casilla in time to make the play. Twins win that game 2-1. Little run by Minnesota now. Not done yet.
Giants-Rockies was the game of the night, man. What a game it was. This was in the 10th inning. Troy Tulowitzki brought his adult glove, gets dirty. Make sure Randy Wynn doesn't get to first. You're going to see this later because number 1 coming right back from there.
Number 4, English soccer. Carling Cup, Norwich versus Sunderland. Sunderland's Andy Reid. Get stuck and get involved. The chip over the keeper for the goal. Sunderland wins 4-1.
I have no idea what that means.
Somebody taught me that in London.
All right, New York, Iowa, back to Little League World Series. Hey, Michael Staub, you need to walk with your other cat, Brody, there. But Staten Island, recognize them. They win and advance to the U.S. semifinals.
Number 2, Phillies and Mets. Jeremy Reed with a slow roller. Chase Utley. Look at that, all in one move. Just like scoops that up and makes the throw all in one. And
at number 1,
3 angles.
Taters, please, to go. Ryan Spilborgh's first walk-off grand slam and